Hey guys, so today I am answering a subscriber question, and the question in question was, Frederick, how can I teach programming to have a good platform for teaching programming to a class of kids with varying knowledge of programming? So let's get into it. Well, when it comes to teaching people to program, that's a special one. When it's a tricky thing to answer, especially when you have a varying degree of skill level within like the actual programming. Some kids are going to be very good. Some kids are going to be absolute beginners, and to find a common platform for them all to to create something is a little bit tricky. But I think I have a tip that I can give away. That I was part of a group a class myself, where they used this method, and it seemed to work very well. So basically, the tutors, what they had done was that they had created 2 tracks on the same sort of exercise. So all that we did was, pretty much exercise based, and in order to get us to have hands-on experience working, that's the kind of the approach that they went with. So each exercise started with the tutor basically going through the concept that we were going to learn, and we did that as a group. And then you could do the advanced version of it, and you could do the basic one, or the normal one, right? And in order for us to get a very quick feedback loop, because that's the thing that was very powerful with this approach, because one of the problems when you're a single teacher with maybe 30 kids or more, depending on, it might vary, of course, but you're going to be kind of exhausted over stretch yourselves pretty thin, because you don't really have the time to give everybody the attention that they want, but you still need a way for them to feel productive and feel like, all right, how they, a sense of progression, if you will. And the way that our teachers solved that was to write unit tests. They had written a suite of unit tests where we submitted our exercise or our code, or to the solution to the problem that we were working on, and then basically that suite ran against our code, and just sent back a response, let us know, and we could get a message saying that this succeeded, that failed, or so forth and so forth. And that was extremely powerful. Because we were working remotely, the feedback loop was absolutely amazing. So all you really had to do was to write some code, submit your code, and run the unit test, and they would tell you if the algorithm that you had been working on actually did what it was supposed to be doing. And that worked that was pretty universal. The really advanced people could keep up with the beginners, because you had a feedback system that basically let you know if you had solved the problem, yes or no, and then you could progress to the next thing. And all the while, the teachers were, of course, available for just feedback and going through exercises with whoever needed help. But this was a way to very quickly allow students to test themselves. And I think that was a very clever approach to solving this problem, where you have a lot of people of varying skill level, and they all pretty much need some degree of help, or at least some way of figuring out if they are progressing with the problem that they are solving. So that's going to be my answer. I think that's a very nice approach to it. You can start off with you start with a base version of the exercise that is intended for the normal students, if you will, and then you add on top of that a more advanced version where there's a bit of more personal freedom involved for the students who want to be a little bit more advanced. And then the way that they can check whether or not they're actually progressing without stealing too much time away from the students who really need help, you allow them to submit code and run that against a suite of unit tests with some very nice descriptive messages that you write. And that way they can just pretty much be self-reliant. For most of them are going to be self-reliant. So what I want you to take away from this is that if you want to have a structured way of working that caters to varying degrees of students, I think it's a very good approach to have a base exercise that you walk through with all of the students, some algorithm or something that they are going, like a problem that they are going to solve. And then you have the space track, and then you have a more advanced track with and then you produce these unit tests that your students can use to run their code against, and that way they can be self-reliant or fairly autonomous, so that the students who are having problems with understanding the exercise, I mean, these people, you're going to be able to give them your time, while the more advanced students will have a feedback system that doesn't have to be you, because as the teacher you're going to be very time restricted, and giving everybody equal attention isn't really feasible. So this is a very nice way to kind of offload some of the time that we would have had to reserve to the more advanced students, and give them something that they can use to verify that they are actually progressing. Have a great day.